also state that I know the residents over on the east side with North Bayshore Park, we allocated $450,000 for the improvement of that park, and I believe we're not going to spend that money. We're going to be trying to get a grant for it, but it would be nice to get the exercise equipment in there and fix up that park. I know we were going to put in Country Bill's line item of $250,000, so that's not in our budget. So we had $83,000 allocated for landscaping. That's going up to $250,000. Seniors, I'm very in favor of seniors. I'm totally with you, Mayor. In addition to having events, though, funding has really dried up on the federal and local level, state level, and in addition to making sure that seniors have something to do, I really want to make sure that our seniors are cared for. I want to make sure there are caregivers and we can afford to check in on our seniors, making sure they get out of bed, making sure they haven't fallen down or are lying there, which did happen to a senior that I have recently become acquainted to. We've lost funding on hot meals. I want to make sure our seniors throughout the city are eating. It's nice that they can go to the park, but I want to make sure they have hot meals. I know our Senior Citizens Foundation has had to give up many hot meals, have had to give up certain days when they're not getting meals. They're going to frozen meals. And if you see some of these seniors living alone, being in wheelchairs, it's really hard to heat up. Just taking a meal out of a freezer and heating it in a microwave is really hard when you're in a wheelchair. So, yes, I want to keep our seniors taken care of. As far as capital improvements, I would make some recommendation. We just allocated $1 million for roofs in our city. We just allocated $1 million for Northwest 7th Avenue. We just allocated $1.5 million for sidewalk and streetscape. I'm hoping that is going to go throughout the city and not one district. I'm a little upset that you want all improvements going to the west side, because we are once, not you, Mayor, Councilman Bieneme.
I did not say that.
You did. You said you wanted improvements, you wanted to fix up the west. Okay.
That's pass.
Okay.
That's pass.
No, but I'm talking about, you said something tonight, but the whole city needs repairs. I'm totally into repairs and infrastructure, but I want to make sure the entire city gets taken care of. There are blighted properties throughout. The Central District is totally neglected. Even on the east side, there are neglected properties. I would make one recommendation. We were getting ready last night to spend $650,000 on a building, a little building with 6 parking spaces for an incubator with the CRA. Every time I want money, oh, the CRA doesn't have money. There is $650,000 that if we don't buy an incubator, all that money can go into the CRA district, which is the central and the west. That money can go to eliminate blight. I know I spoke to our attorney, and we still have a CRA budget, which is why I really want to know what's going on, where the money is, how much we've had, because I hear we don't have money. I know that money can be used to help people fix up their homes. That money can be used not for not to repair sidewalks, but for new sidewalks. We spent $2 million for improvements to Councilwoman Sterrell's district in the past few years for her swales. So there's a lot of money for improvements. That $700,000 you're looking for improvements, I think you can find in the CRA. And I think it would be so much better spreading that money around the city to improve it than to buy one building. So just keep that in the back of your mind when that item comes back up. And that's pretty much it. I do have one question from Mr. Sori, because I forgot to ask you on this. Everybody seemed to have gotten a red card in the mail about their water and sewer rates going up.
Yes.
And it said that they were going up effective October 13th. We're really wondering, when did the water and sewer really go? We had a new rate structure. When did that actually get implemented? And, I mean, it's so confusing because everybody got a card, your water and sewer is going up. So a lot of people have asked, and I haven't been able to explain, and I think this might be the time to discuss what that card means and when the rates really started going up. I thought they were implemented back in October.
I think since we are talking about the budget, maybe you can put that item in the next agenda where we can adjust that and talk about that contract when we were about to renew our water and sewer with the county, and if it was a requirement based on the revolving loan, those things, I think it will be better to put that on the next agenda instead of discussing it today on the budget. I don't know.
We can do that, but I'm wondering, did our water and sewer, it went up when the rate study was implemented, wasn't it?
Through the mayor, Councilwoman Keys, I would have to agree that it would require some extensive discussion. And if it's, I would recommend that either we can meet with you or if to give you that explanation, because it was an item that was implemented and passed by the prior administration.
But to take effect in 2012, and now it's saying it's taking effect on October 13?
It's an annual, but
For the
it's
next
an
5
annual-
years.
But I would,
For the
we
next
could have
5
a
years.
discussion with you.
Okay, I'm happy to defer
Okay.
it, but it's something I needed to bring up because all of a sudden people's water and sewer are being raised, and that's something else to take into consideration. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I understand that, Mr. Clerk, you do have any questions to answer or comments, because you have an appointment at 8 o'clock and you do have to go.
That's correct, Mayor. Regarding my budget, I've discussed my budget with most of the council members and, of course, the city manager. If anyone had any questions, I'll be here to answer them before I departed to the event. Just to give you a brief summary, so far this fiscal year, our department has brought in roughly $536,000. Our budget 2012 was about $491,000. This year, it's relatively the same, $487,000. We made a couple, so it's about $10,000, $15,000 lower. Just to put things in perspective, we're not requesting any increases. And in our department, we had a full-time position that was vacant because Andrea went to go work in Mocha. We had 2 part-timers, 3 full-timers now. We're not going to budget the full-time position. We just brought in an additional part-time. So we're playing our part in sacrificing to make sure that we can help balance this budget. In addition to that, just to kind of put things in perspective, my department service estimated roughly about 34,000 individuals over the past 2 years. And so if anyone have any questions regarding my portion of the budget, I would answer them for you before I take off. If there's any objections, anything that
Can I have a question about 318?
Okay, let me go to my book. All right, shoot away, Councilman.
You're gonna spend $40,000 in what?
When I came on board, the $40,000 initially was exclusively spent on public notices, resolution ordinances, and agendas, and the money went entirely to the Herald. What we did, now we have what the law requires is that we publish our particular public notices in papers of general circulation, a cheaper paper of general circulation in which individuals read this daily business review, and we were able to take the $40,000 and utilize the daily business review, radio programs including Haitian radio, Hispanic radio, Caribbean English radio, and radios that African Americans primarily listen to, like the Bishop Curry Show. So we have, and then we also sent out public notices to every North Miami resident at the beginning of the fiscal year, explaining to them all of our council meetings. And so what we were able to do, the budget was like this. I never requested an increase. It was always like this. We were just able to kind of spread it around, and that's why, fortunately, a lot more people are aware of what is going on here in the city of North Miami regarding our public notices of the council meetings, resolutions, etc.
About the advertisement and the $40,000 is including.
Yeah, it includes all of that. Yeah, so we have to.
Excuse me, question. Including purchasing for how you call that, the business news or bids.
Yes, it includes everything. So we have to spread it to try to include everything, and we try to make it work.
But right now, I don't think we do any advertisement for bids or RFPs. Only on business news.
Yes, that's outside
journal,
my
right?
department.
That's correct, Councilman Bieneme.
Is it illegal to do so on the radio or TV or ads?
Funding permit, we use one resource, but there's no law that states that you can only use one resource. You can use multiple resources if the budget allows for it.
What I will suggest is, if we can allow Mr. City Clerk, and I will make a motion to give him an additional of $20,000 in order for us to advertise or bid RFPs on the radio and newspapers also, because nobody knows about it.
So in terms of
Instead of 40, make it 60.
Sure. So
But purchasing.
Sure. What we're doing is we're taking a list of that request, and we will total that number up, and I'll give you a report on that. So you're recommending that we add an additional 20,000
on his
to
budget.
line 318.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have it.
Can I ask a question?
In order for purchasing to be able to advertise.
Advertise and other resources. Correct.
Councilwoman Case?
Yes. I would just like to know who in the audience reads or has a subscription to the Daily Business Review. Does anybody out there have a subscription to the Daily Business Review? Does anybody in this room, other than our attorney in our city, have a subscription?
But you have purchased.
I do not want to get into an argument, but you're talking about people not knowing what's going on. If we're going to increase that, I think we need to publish in a paper that the people read. Nobody reads the Daily Business Review. I happen to have subscribed about 3 years ago, only to get the notices in the city. Nobody reads it. Attorneys get it. As an attorney for 33 years practicing, I personally never subscribed to the Daily Business Review because it's very expensive. And our citizens, we're doing notices about variances in our neighborhood, things that are items that are going on in your neighborhood, zoning changes. They're putting roofs on. They're putting a church next door. Nobody knows what's going on, and I really think it's a disservice to our citizens. And if we're going to be adding, and I think putting it on the Haitian radio, getting the news out to the citizens is fine. People used to enjoy reading that Sunday paper to see what the agenda is. Now they have to go to a computer. Anybody who doesn't have a computer no longer gets the agenda. But I really would like a little more notice to our citizens.
Which paper are you advocating for? No, well, we had this discussion yesterday. Apparently,
and I know it's more expensive.
She wants me to do more advertising on the Herald. She's advocating for that.
No, and
right. I'm sorry, Councilman. The problem is, we're paying roughly $3,000-4,000 a month to advertise with the Miami Herald. It's extremely expensive. The Daily Business Review, the same type of advertisement.
Nobody reads
We're paying about $200, but by law, we are allowed to advertise. There is a paper of general circulation. This is the difference. $200 a month with the Daily Business Review.
We're doing the bare minimum
compared
by law.
to $4,000 a month with the Miami Herald. And so, if you want to, it's not cost effective, and the word is getting out.
Mr. City Clerk.
Mr. Council Member.
We are discussing the budget, and we understand that. What you want to do?
And I'm not saying.
I think we are spending $3,600 a year.
I'm not saying all the bids for the businesses have to go in there. I mean, people who are doing business know if they want to bid and they want to see what's going on, that doesn't need to go in the neighbors. But I think the Board of Adjustment, I think the planning meetings, resolutions that are important to the people. When we're getting ready to annex a piece of property and it's outside the district, I think people have the right to see it. And the people that were annexing their properties, people were affecting their lives. We're doing the bare minimum. We're publishing it in Daily Business Review, and we are complying with the law, but we are not serving our citizens.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all
What
I've got
other
to say.
ideas
Mr.
do you
City
have?
Clerk.
We are not discussing
Yeah.
newspapers right now. We're discussing funds, and what would you like to see
I
done?
I don't have a breakdown. I've asked for a
Okay.
breakdown. I
Okay.
think that the Board of Adjustment and the zoning have their own budgets for announcements, and hopefully they are adequate. They only have to advertise really 6 times a year, because it's every other month. There's zoning agenda and the Board of Adjustment agenda.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, you need to continue with your
Oh,
presentation. Are you done?
I'm done. I have no objections with Councilman Bienem's amendment, but I think the more we can get the word out, the better. And again, let me remind Councilwoman Keys, I'm a sovereign office. I'm an elected constitutional office. So if the budget is budgeted here, you cannot independently tell me which paper
I'm not
we can use.
independently.
Okay, that's understood.
And
But thank you
also,
very much,
And,
Mayor, and
another-
council members.
So we
Another
don't have a
question,
li-
Michael.
we don't have a line
And-
item of the 40,000, and I believe the manager has the right to direct a breakdown, if he wants, of what the 40,000 is. Then I could say what, you're saying you want another 20,000?
Yes.
We've got a $40,000 number, and we have a clerk who says, I don't have to tell you what's in that $40,000.
That's not correct. Everyone has public, you are a citizen, you're an attorney, you know, every individual has every right to put in a public notice request and can see exactly where the
Why
advertisement's
can't it just
going.
be out in the budget, like every other department, every other person in the
Well,
city?
sorry, Carol, my department cannot afford your precious Miami Herald, and I'm sorry we can't afford that.
My
had a
precious Miami
question?
And,
Herald.
Can we
and
move on?
you-
Show the
Excuse
Miami
me.
Herald some
Wait,
love. What
and-
is
Yeah,
going
show the
on?
Miami
Michael.
Herald some love.
And
Sure.
Mr. City
Mr.
Clerk,
Mr.
you were talking
Benjamin.
about the 3,600 putting aside a year for daily business news. You said it's a legal matter.
Yeah, no, it varies, but what we're paying, it's a paper of general circulation, meaning we can
And-
lawfully use that paper to put out our public notices. Miami-Dade County uses it, City of Miami uses it, City of Aventura uses it.
Oh, we can decide not to use it.
Well-
City attorney.
You can
About our
use
bids,
you can use any newspaper that's
Oh.
a paper of general circulation.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just have to pick
Like
one
before
that's
we
of general
get-
circulation.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter if
okay,
the
okay.
people don't
We
read
wanna
it.
make sure.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you
Clerk, are
very
you done?
much. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
mean now your budget is for legal advertisement and
60.
it's going to be
60.
60.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilwoman Steril, do you have any? No? Okay. We did have a motion, don't we? Can we move on?
Yeah.
We did have a motion on this.
Yeah.
Jackie, can you please come for the roll call? Ms. Vieja?
Mayor and council, what we have is a number. So what staff will be doing is we will be going back into this budget. We will be making the adjustments as you have indicated here tonight. So there's 2 things so that you can understand when you're passing the motion. We had set the millage rate at 8.1, but you have nearly about over $1 million worth of adjustments that you're asking us to make
In
this budget. So
Not
we will,
increasing it.
I'm sorry, sir?
Not increase the budget.
Not include, no. The adjustments that you're asking me to do is based upon the millage rate of 8.1. You're asking me to take the same budget and to rearrange approximately $1 million worth of other projects. So I will be doing that, and when we come back in the next budget, I will have made these recommended changes in the budget.
Well, that's what we're expecting to see in the next hearing, budget hearing. All the
And,
recommendations that were made tonight for them to
That's
reflect in
correct.
the next presentation that you folks are going to be doing. Okay, do we have a motion to approve tab B?
Wasn't it already made? I think there was
I
already a motion.
I believe there was a motion
Okay,
and a
so
second.
Madam Clerk, please roll call.
Mayor Tundro,
Yes.
Councilman Bianame,
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sterile. No. Vice Mayor Galvin.
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Time is 7:59.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Who's second?
Second.
Everyone
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Let's go. Good night, everyone. See you next week.